What's raging, gamers? Welcome to the Season 8 launch of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. How you doing, HenricK?
What can I say? We're back and better than ever.
Yeah, man, we made it through, the first quarter of the new century, and man, I cannot wait what the future entails for myself and for you, my friend, and for all the gamers, where we will continue to rage out, maybe quit on some of our favorite games, maybe have some successful, speed runs. Who knows what the future will bring for us with this, amazing thing that we call life. Hey, but you know what? We always like to start off the show with a bang and show you guys a lot of viral content that is circulating all across the World Wide Web. So as expected, Squid Games 2 dropped like a guillotine, smashing Netflix records with 68 million views in its first 4 days. That was easily dunking on Wednesday's 50.1 million debut back in 2022. So naturally, it didn't take long for the chaos to spill into video games, where streamers Kai Cenat and iShowSpeed squared off in children's games for a tempting prize. And so what was the catch? Well, the stakes were just as deadly, because why not make red light and green light even more stressful?
Come on, we gotta win this. Oh! You got me! Somebody got me! Somebody got me! Can one of y'all just go?
Speed, this is for you.
Okay, thank you.
I love those clips that I've seen of people just like trolling other people with their soundboard. It's great. I love it.
There are too many to count. There's another funny video where, even iShowSpeed's a diehard Ronaldo fan. And, even if you've seen the most recent season of Squid Games, he's like, why am I partnered up with the Messi? Get out of my room. So there's a lot of great moments. Obviously the comments were fire around these clips, just like this one. Speedy Headquarters on Twitter says, news, Speed's been playing Squid Games 2 for 2 hours. Before, after.
He is a changed man afterwards.
Yes. Wouldn't we all? If I wouldn't even. Would you? I guess that's the real question. Would you be player 456, HenricK?
I don't think so.
The fact that you dragged
anyone wants to go through
the
that.
fact that you dragged that response got me a little scared. It should have been just like, no. I have not played anything that's going to sacrifice my life. No way, bro is cheating now. Yeah, that was kind of funny. Trolling people in any kind of video game, especially in red light, green light. Come on, man. That's pure
It's
genius.
funny, though, Chris. You can't not say it's funny.
Yeah, exactly. And wait, that's actually smart as F, though. And little kids shouldn't even be playing these games. That's actually kind of a funny point, especially since we highlighted even last season's with Balatro. How they go after them when they don't even have microtransactions or, like kind of sense of Ultimate Team and poker style game. Come on, guys. Kind of reinventing the wheel with like solitaire.
Are we gonna ban poker in children's classrooms too now? Is that what that means?
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure we endangered a lot of those young lads in Pokemon over the years, and it's not necessarily as friendly either. But you know what? As we're talking about, some of these kind of crime-filled environments over a decade into Grand Theft Auto Online, it's easy to forget it's more than just a playground for chaos. It's also a place for heartwarming moments, HenricK. Like, I didn't even know this was a thing, but a Brazilian couple is stepping it up on their stream, proving this by hosting a gender reveal party in the game. So they're turning that crime-filled sandbox into a digital hallmark moment. So forget the heist and mayhem. Exactly, HenricK. Like, forget all the heist and the mayhem. This might just be the most wholesome thing to ever happen in Los Santos. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Caralho. É o homem. Red Beiramar Júnior, rapaziada. Olha.
Say the classic line. These gender reveals are getting too out of hand, but hey, at the same time, at least they didn't cause a fire or something. This happened before.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially what's going on here in Southern California. I mean, it's
Yeah.
horrendous, and so we don't want to see anything, kind of go up in, sparks. But, just the fact that people can get together and coordinate, even just that coordination of, flight. I'm just as amazed, but let alone just being able to plan a gender reveal inside of Grand Theft Auto Online is beyond me. But even diving into the comments, this is a good way to do the gender reveal. No wildfires, just a shared love of GTA. Awesome. And also with the follow-up that says, true, it does have the advantage of not actually damaging the environment. Yeah, we've seen some wonky ones in the past, also some pretty funny ones where, people try to, shoot a basketball into a net and then they completely, airball it. Those are always a classic. We love it. Continue to do that. You make us all feel one. But then, we get comments like, we got gender reveal party in GTA 5 before GTA 6. Will that all change in 2025, Henrik?
Maybe it'll be in GTA 6 instead next time.
Oh, yeah. Purchasable ways where you can have your own party.
Make it a microtransaction.
Yeah,
Rockstar's going to get on that right now.
Right now, just for you. Maybe all of his friends couldn't make the trip to his venue or house, and this is also beats dropping a blue-pink atomic bomb on Brazil just to reveal a gender. I never realized so many gamers were haters over these gender reveal videos. Clearly, the comments are not vibing with any of that.
Yeah. I think that a lot of people just are like, guys, just make it simple. Doesn't need to be complicated. You can have fun, but, keep it to a minimum.
Yeah, just let us know once the baby's born, all right? Hey, but what's also pretty wild is, as a Sony gamer, I get it. We don't know how to let things go. And sure, your PS4 sounds like it's preparing for liftoff, but when do you finally say enough is enough? So do you fix what's technically still working or keep gutting the poor thing like a fish? And who needs a PS5 anyway? You're basically, looking at your PS4 and going, it's perfect after all, at least in my eyes.
It's my perfect pile of doo-doo.
Oh my gosh. This one is really leading the charge in the year 2025.
I think that one's beyond hanging on a thread. Like, that's been dead and been resuscitated multiple times at this point.
I'm just amazed at, the lengths of our Sony gamers will go. I mean, it's just incredible considering that, there were not so confirming reports, but there's, speculation out there, with sales back in November, just before the winter holiday were kicking off, that, the PS5 was outselling the Xbox Series by 5-1, and to see that people are still hanging on a lifeline with the PS4 is insane. But the comments read, PS4 users will do anything but cleaning it and putting new thermal paste. I mean, I know that, numerous times, my brother would remove the black tape, unscrew, take apart our PS4, but nothing would ever change. Yeah, and I mean, the sound was always the same. You should do
that with anything.
Yeah, but the sound was always the same. But should you, though? I mean, the warranty's completely off the table once you do that.
Actually, those warranty stickers are not valid.
Oh, okay. See, that's the way. If anybody's gonna know, it's gonna be my boy HenricK the Wreck. Being someone with the geek squad. You know what I mean? He's gonna know what's good. Hey, but right. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
we're living on a lifeline. Hey, but you know what?
He's dead, Jim.
If there's a pulse, there's a way, right? It's better than the red ring of death. And shout out to all the PS4 users who refuse to do a pointless upgrade with no games, waiting for the PS6 instead. Wow. So like, even if GTA 6 does come in the year 2025, is that how you still gonna react, young man? We'll see. I have to see.
Yeah, because I don't think you're gonna be able to play that on a PS4.
They're making it even sound like not even on the PC right away. So, but then again, a lot of speculation in the air. We're still very much young in the year 2025. Are you ready to rock and roll, HenricK the Wreck?
Absolutely. And it's time to talk about a game. So let's talk about a game, all right?
Hey, let's get it.
Hey everyone, this is Pause or Repeat. Here we figure out whether a game is really worth your time and money. Today's game is MiSide. MiSide is developed by iHasto, a team of 2 who primarily have made horror games. So keeping that in mind when looking at the game, let's see how it subverts your expectations, starting first with the gameplay. MiSide is a psychological horror game through and through. As such, the gameplay of MiSide focuses mostly on the story, with gameplay elements thrown in to send you to the next bit of story. Most gameplay elements involve you exploring a room, or a couple of rooms, or doing a mini-game style segment. Gameplay can go from figuring out a puzzle, to playing an arcade game, to walking down a hallway multiple times, PT style. You'll also interact with multiple characters, mostly all different versions of the same character, Mita. And with that being said, let's move on to the story. The story of MiSide follows the main character's interactions with Mita. Things start off when the main character downloads a game on his phone. After over a month of playing the game and interacting with Mita, she states that she wishes she could be together with him, and she pulls him into the game world. You'll then have to look for a way out, especially since she starts to prevent you from being able to look, becoming possessive of you. Eventually, it's explained that there are multiple versions of Mita, and you'll need to run from crazy Mita while being helped by the others to find a way back to the real world. Will you escape, or be stuck in the game world forever? But now the question still stands. Pause or repeat?
From wholesome to horror, this is a dating sim, as I thought. But then I found out, hey, it's actually a psychological horror game. It's not something that I would have thought of myself, but being a horror fan, I love this. What about you, Chris? What do you think?
Yeah, you start looking at screenshots online, even before you start playing into the video game MiSide, and it's like stepping into the psychedelic, anime fever dream with like puzzles that demand both brain power and lightning fast reflexes. And like you said, like what starts off as a cute dating sim quickly takes a hard left into a psychological horror, leaving you questioning every adorable smile.
Yeah, and then when we say horror, unfortunately, a lot of the things are actually tropes and cliches from other horror things that have been done already. But when I say cliche, that doesn't mean it's necessarily bad. It's actually just fun, honestly.
Well,
I had a great time with it personally.
Yeah, well, I think what works great about this video game is that it's a roller coaster of emotions, bouncing between the terrifying chase scenes and calm moments that let you catch your breath, and just long enough so you can get scared all over again. And so, like, you just kind of like really immerse yourself with this gameplay if it's really going to work for you. If you're looking for that God of War button smasher, then skip out on this one. You know what I mean? But if you want to like, really immerse yourself into this kind of storyline, like you're like, wow, I'm a software developer. I'm working at home. I'm living my dream job. Until then, all of a sudden I boot up, this build of MiSide, this mobile game, it's just kind of that like fun irony going into 2025. Like this is just where we're at, right?
Especially when we have this whole conversation about just AI in general in the zeitgeist right now. Like this is definitely something that I could see happening in like some science fiction story where like the creation takes over. We've seen it multiple times with the creation of the humans take over. And that's essentially kind of the same kind of story that we're seeing here. Like an AI version of this character decides,
well, your new virtual girlfriend,
it's not enough anymore for me to just talk to you through the game. I need to take you into my world.
Yeah, MiSide, maybe there's a little play to the AI side, that kind of like effect. There's that feeling where in the year 2025 and the last couple of years, it's like, where's dating been? You don't really meet anybody in person anymore. So you go to these dating sims, and so why does this story relate to the youth so much? Why do people feel like when you jump into this game, you sense this kind of charming experience, and then all of a sudden you hear this knocking from your wardrobe, and then you got Mita who begs you to ignore it, but then you're just like this weird curious human, just like how we swipe right and regret later. So we just can't take a hint, right? So this game, I felt touched on that a lot. And then when you get sucked into that twisted version of Mita's house, wow, that's really when the full-on psychological horror escape room begins. And it's cool. I mean, it seems like games like this are starting to become at the forefront of indie gameplay, like a video game that we covered last season with mouthwashing. It's
true. Yeah,
this has really become the new narrative for horror, but I wonder if this will continue.
Well, I think it definitely will, at least for a bit. Coming from someone who watches a lot of horror films, a lot of the horror films that end up being really successful end up actually being indie in their own sense as well, not necessarily from a big AAA film studio or anything like that. So when you translate that over to gaming, I could definitely see it working really well, like we've already seen with this game and also with Mouthwashing, like you said, where there were two indie games developed by a really small team of people.
Two people, correct?
Yeah, for this one, two people, and it just turned out to be a hit with a lot of people, because not only is it a very just creepy atmosphere, it's almost like walking into the back rooms, kind of like liminal space sort of horror, but also you have that just subversion of expectation at the fact of there's the really wholesome moments, and then you go to the very scary moments at the same time where it's unhinged, like you're saying.
No, it's so true. There's like unhinged versions of Mita. You're gonna reach the game's core to reset the crazy Mita, and once you get to that point in the video game, you're gonna be hooked. Like you're gonna want to finish the story front to end, because you do not want your soul into that storage cartridge.
I will say the middle part of the story kind of felt like it dragged on maybe a little bit more than it could have. Just because it starts to feel like you're kind of wandering around, but
that's where
fortunately enough, that's where the gameplay elements come in. It's like, let's keep this a little interesting by throwing this in here and then this in here, and then actually take a look at this real quick. This little thing to look at is a little interesting bit to interact with.
Yeah, that's why I've been seeing a lot of commentary online, especially since it's been receiving a lot of positive reviews on Steam, at least very, very high. People have been comparing it to Doki Doki or Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yeah,
exactly. Mixed with a little bit, I would say, Black Mirror for anybody that's into that television show. So a little bit of that dash of horror and story. That is something that will be for you. But if you're like this top-notch game player, again, like this might not be for you. You might want to swipe left on this one. But it is cool that the game crams in 9 or 10 mini games across different genres, while the story, I would say, only takes about 5 to 6 hours to finish. But there is plenty of secrets, alternative endings, and outfits to unlock for replay value. But as you were saying, a little bit of the middle part might feel a little bit sluggish. It could use a sprint button, I would say. But, they do say they are promising to expand the experience with new modes, costumes, and features with future updates. So we'll have to see what's good. But overall, gorgeous visuals, stellar voice acting, and, I'm just curious, HenricK, is this your next great obsession? Is this a pause or a repeat?
Well, this is a repeat for me, and I do think that the game has actually a bit of replayability, simply because, like you were highlighting, there's a lot of Easter eggs and secrets and a couple more endings that you would get outside of the main storyline, because some bits of the context of everything gets changed after you see the ending of the game. And the great thing about it is, Yeah, I said that some parts of the game may be feeling a little sluggish, but there is a way to jump between certain segments of the story, like different chapters.
Yeah.
So if you're just feeling like, oh, I want to go see this part in particular, well, you can go do that. You can go jump directly to that point and try and look for whatever secret or little tidbit that you missed out on previously.
Yeah.
But what about you, Chris? Is this a repeat or a pause for you?
You know, it's like when you're dating a girl and you get to that 6 months and you're thinking to yourself, you know, this has been fun. I've been having a great time with her. But do I want to go another 6 months? Because once that's, you know, that's a year, right, HenricK? And that's a commitment. I don't think I'm going to go that far with MiSide.
Wow,
I think it's a fantastic
Chris
game.
might be a little bit scared of commitment.
Exactly. I'm a little afraid. She kind of freaked me out too much that I want to return. But no, overall, it really is a fantastic game. I think it's going for about $30 right now. So it's really, the price tag is not what's going to scare you away. It is a fun ride the first time around, but I don't know. I think I'm good. But then again, there are future updates, and there is a lot more to return to.
It's actually $15, by the way, Chris.
Oh, $15. Oh, excuse me. Misspoke.
So even less than you thought.
Yeah, I mean, come on. That's freaking awesome. But hey, we're split on this verdict, but we want to hear from you gamers. Is MiSide a pause or repeat? But hey, HenricK the Wreck, we got so much more here left on Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show. So are you ready to rock and roll, my friend?
Absolutely. So let's get into the news, all right?
Hey, let's get it. What's good, listeners? Welcome to Patch Notes, where my co-host HenricK the Wreck and I discuss gaming news, industry talk, and so much more. Let's get it. The New Year's is here, and it's already flexing with Grand Theft Auto 6, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and Death Stranding 2 looming on the horizon like the gaming version of a triple boss fight. But before we tackle those juggernauts, January's here to gently pat us on the back and say, take it easy, champ. Dropping a few smaller games to tide us over while we recover from the holiday-induced button-mashing fatigue. So a new Dynasty Warriors is charging onto modern consoles almost a decade after the last entry left our thumbs sore. So Origins promises to retell the romance of the Three Kingdoms in an excruciatingly detailed glory, all through the eyes of its OG nameless protagonist. Plus, they're cranking up the chaos with over 10,000 enemies on screen at once, just in case your console needed a workout.
You know, we've been due another entry in this series, and it can't come any sooner because these games make you feel like you're so powerful.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think fans actually been thriving for these kind of style of games. I think with the success of even Space Marines 2, you know, we got that with that, you know, kind of like zombified horde, you know, gunplay. And now we get to kind of switch it up with this kind of very samurai-esque, you know, medieval kind of style approach with over 10,000 enemies. I love it. I mean, when's the last time you've seen that many NPCs in a video game? I freaking think it's badass. I think one of the only notch towards this game is, I don't know. I think what I've been hearing is that, you know, that the co-op and multiplayer won't be available at launch in the beginning. So that's kind of a little bit of a bummer. But I think once they kind of implement that back in, because I know that was a big feature with the Dynasty Warrior series. So to kind of see them focus more on a solo approach is new. Might be there on purpose. Maybe they want you to kind of focus on that kind of story play element. We'll have to find out what's good, because Dynasty Warriors Origins launches on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series XS on January 17th. So yes, they thought about the PS4. That lifeline, as we showed, really can't let be the test of time. But with over 10,000 enemies, I think
I think it wouldn't be able to handle that.
Right, exactly. Our next game, though, at first glance, Eternal Strands, looks like Shadow of the Colossus got a neon makeover and a gym membership. And while it borrows from the classic PS2 action platformers, all grown up with the destruction physics and elemental magic and sprawling exploration spaces. So basically everything that you love, but with a lot more chaos and shiny explosions.
It's not every day that we get a new IP in this kind of genre. So I am definitely keeping my eyes on this to see if it is any good, because it looks promising, but we never know with new things nowadays, right?
Yeah, and I think, that's kind of like third-person approach. That it almost, gives me the kind of like Dragon's Dogma. I'm even kind of getting the sense of God of War kind of style gameplay. We're coming off of Black Myth Wukong. I'm thinking about, what's that other game? Kina. I think it was from the PlayStation, PS5, the Spirit. Oh, gosh, I'm blanking out right now. Someone's going to correct me in the chat. But, this kind of style of gameplay, I hope doesn't fall off the radar, because it visually looks beautiful. It's definitely on our much anticipated games coming out in January 2025. And we're telling you, it's got to be on top of your list. And it's launching on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series XS on January 28th. And our last game in our top 3 in the bag, I'm telling you, you're going to be stepping into the Overgrowth, the newest realm in Hyperlight Breaker, where you can explore open worlds, craft powerful builds, and demolish hordes of enemies solo or with friends. And so what's the mission? Take down the Crowns and the Abyss King, because even in a neon-drenched apocalypse, someone's got to deal with the overbearing rulers. So let's go ahead and take a look.
Now, here's a game that the boys and I have definitely been keeping our eye on, and I believe it's going to be something that we play, because this is exactly the kind of game that we like to play with each other. It just seems like a lot of fun.
What drew you in? Was it the gameplay? Was it the style of our artistic direction?
The gameplay mixed with the ability to just do all this with co-op, and I believe it's also a roguelike. So that intrigues me.
Yeah, I'm getting it. It was reminding me of like that Zelda graphics mixed with some sort of like Anthem gameplay. I'm not saying that it's gonna have the downside, success.
The unsuccessful story of Anthem.
Yeah, exactly. I'm hoping that it's gonna see the light. No pun intended with Hyperlight Breaker. But it's got to be on your list. It's a beautiful looking game. It launches exclusively in Steam Early Access on PC on January 14th. So those are the top 3 games in January 2025. So HenricK the Wreck, break it down. We got some more topics to discuss here on Patch Notes.
Yeah, of course, because 2025, we're just starting. And if you were lucky enough to score a shiny new console or some games this Christmas, you're probably already eyeing the upcoming releases like a kid staring at the candy aisle.
Oh, yes, we are, HenricK.
And 2025, like I said, it's going to be a big one. And let's be real, 2024 was a brutal year for the industry, with layoffs and studio closures popping up like bad holiday fruitcake.
And nobody likes bad holiday fruitcake.
I don't really get that during the holidays, because everyone knows
Oh, that you're the one that brings the bad fruitcake? Okay, good to know.
No, I don't get it.
You're
I
not
don't get
invited
it.
next time around.
But hey, there's hope that things will bounce back. So, first we got Grand Theft Auto, of course. And the day millions of gamers have been waiting for is almost here, because the release seems like it's going to come out this year after 12 years since GTA 5. And it made history when it released back in PS3 and Xbox 360 in that era. So just imagine how it's going to be when Grand Theft Auto 6 comes out.
Oh, yeah,
because
the reception.
Considering the amount of hype behind that, I don't see that game failing, just based on the fact that if it does fail, Rockstar is going to be in the ditches.
Well, already
everyone.
having, insiders in the video game industry already speaking out saying that, other studios are reflecting on the reception that it's going to bring and whether to even delay their own IP until Rockstar finally lets the people know what's good. Release the damn release schedule. But what else is there to look forward to in the year 2025, Henrik?
Well, it's been really sparked up recently, but we have the Nintendo Switch 2, which the hype is everywhere. It's off the charts, despite the fact that we still know nothing about its capabilities except for rumors, and that it's definitely coming, probably with some official news by at least March. Though the rumors have been really sparking up this week in particular, because we keep seeing more and more supposed details coming out, like magnetic release Joy-Cons and official.
Yeah, what's up with all that?
Well, not official, but like leaked videos of what could have been or what is potentially the actual hardware in people's hands. So,
well, the consumer tech event really kind of gave us a little bit of an indication, with some people, bringing in, third-party accessories to this new potential console. We'll have to kind of wait and see until we see some actual visual images.
Yeah, until Nintendo tells us directly from them, we don't know for sure. But it's coming soon. That is for sure.
Yeah, that's so true.
We do also have one more thing to look out for this year, and that is the Olympic esports games in Saudi Arabia. And don't forget it, because this is a monumental first for the Olympics.
Yeah, not to get confused for the World Cup last year. This is the Olympic esports games.
Yes. And who wouldn't want to watch gamers sweat it out for digital gold, right?
Yeah, that's so true, Henry. Yeah, I'm with you on that one. It just depends on what games are going to be there, and still, that is
exactly what's going to make or break this. Because if it's going to be games like when they did esports in the games section for Olympics a couple of years ago.
Yeah, like the archery. Remember the archery game? It was on the
that
mobile,
it just come out like
iOS,
months
Android.
before.
Yeah, 3 months. How do you become an esports professional if it's only been out for 3 months? I think that's going to be the bigger issue, and whether there's going to be actual allegiance towards certain video game studios. That's always going to be something that's going to be brought up into, along with, the cultural impact around the world. Saudi Arabia, being accused of sports washing, right? That's another factor where they feel like, how do you build your reputation from, LGBTQ plus rights? The list goes on and on and on. We don't need to explain it. You get the point, gamers. Yeah. And I say we dive right into the comments, right, Henrik? Because the people
have plenty to say about this, as you can imagine. So
exactly. The future of gaming in 2025 is popping off with a bang. And so let's dive right here into the comments. So the first one reads, the other studios really might as well announce their games. When was the last time Rockstar didn't delay one of their releases? With the follow-up comment, everyone moves their 2025 games into 2026, and then Rockstar reveals they're delaying into 2026 too. See you in 2027 for an absolute flood of games. Yeah, right? Isn't that when the PlayStation 6 is supposed to come out? So is this a part of their devious plan, HenricK?
Their plan all along is to wait for the PS6.
Yeah, right. They think it has a better ring to it. 2026 PS6. Okay.
With GTA 6 as the launch title.
Don't do it. 666 party with the devil. No, we're not going there. Hey, but good chance GTA 7 will be the game I'll be playing when I'm in some sort of pod nursing home in 2095. With another follow-up that says, at this rate, GTA 7 will be out before GTA 6. Yeah, and will Elden Scrolls 6 be out by then, or do I have to jump from one pod to another.
Yeah, maybe we'll have to wait maybe 10 more years beyond that for
Oh
Elder
my
Scrolls 6.
It makes me so sad. But hey, so who else hopes the Joy-Cons will actually be comfortable? And this is regarding the Nintendo Switch 2 that is going to be dropping, hopefully this year.
And hopefully they don't die so quick. And I don't mean battery life. I mean like you getting stick drift within 3 months of using it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what's always so super concerning. And, even this follow-up comment says, I have very large hands and I had to buy a third-party Switch controller when playing it docked. The Joy-Cons were just too small for me to play comfortably. Yeah, especially with myself. I'm a console player and I'm not like a tarantula like you, HenricK the Wreck, on the PC, where you can just like expand.
Tarantula is crazy.
That's your style of gameplay. Me needs a good medium-sized controller, and that wouldn't really make it break it for me when it comes to the Nintendo Switch 2. But as you did suggest, there are reports about this magnet connection to the Joy-Cons. This is something new. I wonder if this is because more players have been asking that these controllers become a little bit more accessible, and I think this charge has really got excelled when, for the disabled community, when they really started to introduce that. Sony really introduced that new controller, which I think has gotten even more gamers excited to be like, wait, I kind of like that even for myself. And, if the PC can update their rigs, why can't we do the same thing when it comes to console gameplay? Do you want to speak on that?
Well, I think there's always going to be that debate between the modularity of PC versus console. And consoles, unfortunately, they can only do so much. But I am always accepting of more and more innovation in that respect because, so many consoles, like we saw.
Sounds like someone that's speaking from an Xbox executive role.
Still, and if you could just upgrade it and then play the new games, people would do that.
Yeah, you started to sound like you work for Microsoft, because even Microsoft, they don't really have a whole lot to look forward to in 2025 other than being like, hey, we got these LG TVs, the newer models, and we're bringing the Xbox Game Pass to your TV. Who has been saying that? There's been two heads here that have been saying it for quite some time. We're into season 8 now, that they've been going to be coming to your smart TV. And of course, that was the top news in 2025. Xbox is going to be doing that. So, but then again, Nintendo is really banking on the nostalgia and the physical copies of Nintendo Switch 2. So we're going to have to see what's good, but make it faster and backwards compatible. And I'm good. Doesn't need to be insane jump, but I don't want minor change either. I agree, but also fix the Joy-Cons. So it seems like everyone's in, agreement. The Joy-Cons is such a big issue, but it's going to be, I think it's going to take a lot from Nintendo to really kind of win people over with this newer model because, you've seen the emergence of the Steam Deck and whether people want to still hold on to Team Nintendo. I think
there's going to be a bunch of people that don't want to sell out the Switch 2 at launch. I think it's going to sell out.
I really find this as a definitive moment for Nintendo where this is going to be a make it or break it kind of style of year because I really do feel like they've been slipping for quite some time now. I've been speaking on this for a while. I mean, yes, they did get very, very lucky with their amazing strategy to pull people into the Zelda series to make them spend $75 on one game for a $300 device and then to play absolutely nothing for years is an amazing, amazing thing. But I think,
that's wild that you say nothing though, because I think that Nintendo's one big strategy that they have over Xbox essentially, and definitely PS5s, is, the whole joke. There's no games on PS5 because when you look at the list, it's so short of like exclusive games for PS5. But when you look at the list of exclusive games for the Switch, Yeah, it's been out for a long time.
Yeah, but can it run
but
Call
they
of Duty?
really
Can it
make
run Call
sure.
of Duty?
Yeah, but you don't buy a Switch to play Call of Duty. That's what your other console or PC
Well, it
is
is kind of
for.
wild to see that, there are also reports that the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to have a USB-C port on it. And so I feel like if they're going to have to do something, they're going to have to get really innovative. But let's continue to move along with these comments. Probably a stupid incentive to get young people interested in the Olympics and that Saudi money. Way too many issues such as the choice of games, unequal access to tech and games, and what is the tech standard, etc. Never mind the fact that they're proposing mobile games, or League of Legends, laugh out loud, and Rocket League, but not shooters. That's correct. So you don't expect Fortnite, Counter-Strike, Valorant, those style of games will not be making the list. But this will naturally give insane priority to these games and much less to the competitors and reinforce a monopoly in the industry. That recent big Saudi esports event felt so lifeless. There was no crowd. Yeah, it was a little strange, but I mean, it is a different culture that, again, we're not really accustomed to, and it's going to take some time, even, FIFA and the World Cup are even, expecting, big things to come. And what is it, the year 2036? So, might not adjust to us for a while, maybe 100 years from now, it might, who knows? But yeah, I mean, I feel like you got to have a really big successful launch, because it's like what they always tell us in theater and Broadway. There's only one curtain, and it's only going to open once, and if you don't nail it right off the bat, it's really hard to bring people in for future airings.
Yeah, it is going to be one of those moments where if they flop with this whole launch of it, it's just not going to come back.
Yeah, no, it's very true. And I have the body of an Olympic athlete. Yeah, right. Who would have thought, Henrik? We're all Olympic athletes after all. But with GTA 6 finally dropping after 12 years, the mysterious Nintendo Switch 2 lurking in the shadows, and Olympic esports games bringing gaming to the global stage, what are you most excited for? Are you going to be becoming a digital criminal? Or are you going to be playing on an unconfirmed console, or watching sweaty gamers go for the gold?
Well, GTA 6 is definitely the thing to be hyped for out of all three of these, because it's going to be the biggest title probably of the next 10 years, if we have anything to go off of based on GTA 5 at least.
Yeah.
But the Nintendo Switch 2 leaks are looking very promising. It's just a matter of whether the leaks are legit, or if Nintendo's, like you're maybe expecting, sitting on their laurels and just doing another re-release with higher specs, and that's about it, not trying to innovate.
7-inch to an 8-inch screen.
Yeah. That again, Nintendo has said before, from Doug Bowser himself, that the Nintendo Switch 2 will not come out until they have some new innovation to show to people. So that could be promising to hear that from the CEO of Nintendo America himself.
Yeah, and I also know the Nintendo president confirmed that the upcoming Nintendo console will be backwards compatible with Switch games and Nintendo Switch Online. There is rumored, that it will sport an 8-inch screen because, bigger is always better, right? We always like that, even when it comes to our mobile phones. And as you spelled out, with the magnetic Joy-Cons. But, I'm wondering whether this is just a wild thought. I'm just throwing it out there, Henrik, because when I hear about USB-C, it's like, obviously we know with the, the European initiative that's really kind of translated across the pond that, hey guys, no more just creating, multiple different cables every 5 years. We all got to stick to a global standard. And so Nintendo's bringing that in. But don't you think that they're going to do even crazier shit? I mean, we did see the Alarmo clock. Do you believe that they'll try to bring virtual glasses into their gameplay? Is that something that Nintendo can kind of do to make things a little bit different? Or do you think they're just going to stick to that nostalgia factor and just bank on, hey, magnetic connection system? That's the next gen that we've all been waiting
for. That I did see in some of the more recent leaks was an interesting thing that actually one of the Windows handhelds kind of did also, the Lenovo Legion Go, where that handheld, it actually has detachable controllers like the Switch does. And with that one, you can actually use one of the controllers as like a little joystick with a little optical sensor on the bottom to kind of like use it as a mouse in a sense.
Oh, okay.
And one of the leaks for the Switch is something similar where one of the Joy-Cons has an optical sensor on the inside of it where it plugs into the console. And so when you unplug it from the console, you can actually use it like a mouse, essentially, like an odd-shaped mouse.
See,
So that could be really interesting, actually. That actually
that's a good point.
would be a good way to play a shooter, for example, because I'm always going to say mouse and keyboard is going to be the superior method of playing a shooter.
Well, yeah, it could be a good way to tell Sony and Microsoft, well, more Sony, to suck it, with your DualSense controller. And, we're having a little bit of a different gameplay to our next Mario Party. But yeah, even when it comes to the Olympic esports, it's going to be wild what's to be released with the lineup of gameplay. Nothing's really been confirmed, but there are reports that League of Legends, Rocket League, Street Fighter, FIFA, Tekken, iRacing, which is a little bit more of the driving simulator, and NBA 2K are a part of the button mashing and goal smashing that will be coming to the esports Olympic Games. And to also speak on GTA 6 on a final note, I'm just wondering whether it is going to release this year. I know that former Rockstar developer Obi Vermeji, if I butchered your name, I'm so sorry, brother, but you did really give us some pretty intelligent information that kind of will throw a curveball to a lot of us, and it's not the most flattering news because he suggested that Rockstar probably won't know if they can hit the 2025 mark until around May-ish. So he's saying that if we don't hear anything by May, then it's most likely releasing in 2026. And why does he say this, Henrik? Because he's referring to GTA 4's infamous last-minute delay just 4 months before its release. So this is nothing new. So in other words, don't count your heists before they're planned.
And let them cook.
And let them cook. Hey, but man, what are you gamers looking forward to in the year 2025? Is it none of these three? We want to know. So let us know what's good. But man, there's been a lot of gossip that's been kind of floating in the air. It really got a lot of people excited. And then again, it made people kind of scratch their heads going, is this even possible? Right, Henrik?
Yeah,
So,
let us know what's going on with a certain person named the same thing as the little thing on the new iPhones, Notch.
yeah, right. So Minecraft, the best-selling game of all time, just might be getting a sequel thanks to the original creator, Marcus Notch Person, who in true Notch fashion has quote-unquote basically announced Minecraft 2. So over New Year's, Notch hinted that he might spend the next year crafting a spiritual successor to his sandbox juggernaut, because who wouldn't want to remind that blocky magic again? And so after posting a poll asking what his fans would like him to work on, he would later reply to a user saying that he basically announced Minecraft 2. And as you can see with this very lengthy tweet, I thought that maybe people actually do want me to make another game that's super similar to the first one. And I'm loving working on games again, he wrote. And he also continued by saying, my intentions are to be clear and honest about this, saying that spiritual successors are usually kind of, washed up. Tragic, he continued. So gamers were pumped about the news, though Notch, unless he teams up with Microsoft, his next project most likely won't even be able to use the Microsoft IP, because, guess again, legal issues. And so let's go ahead and get into the following comments. So let's get it. So the comments that we got here, where are you? I got you. Yes, bro. Please make a Minecraft 2. I'm begging you. I want you to almost make a Minecraft remastered, basically starting off where you left Minecraft and completing it in your vision. And then he goes, no. wait, what? I thought you just said that you were going to follow up. How do sequels work anymore? I have no idea, especially when it comes to a sandbox. How do you become innovative, Henrik?
Well, you make a new thing, which is what he's going to have to do, like you were saying, if he doesn't work with Microsoft, which I don't think that he's going to be working with
I
Microsoft.
got an idea. Instead of it being blocky, we keep it triangular.
Oh, there you go.
Could you please add references to Umineko in Minecraft 2? It's just a suggestion. Nah, but feel free to convince other developers, though. Maybe you strike a nerve there, but for the love of God, do give up immediately if you get a clear no. If you suspect it might be a clear no, it's a clear no. And this also applies when talking to us. Like, I mean, what a sarcastic ass. Like, I mean, damn, dude. I mean, don't have to be so savage towards
Yeah,
your...
you really went in on that comment.
your loyal fan base. And 9 out of 10 chance it will be shit. And Notch, with his classic way of responding to users online. Honestly, I'm not even sure I'll make it to release based on having been me for all my life, but I do know I'm genuinely loving having fun working on a game in an office and would love to give it a shot. So, it seems like he's been dabbling with this certain style of Minecraft. Will it work again? I mean, he did sell 300 million physical copies with Minecraft. How do you top that? But oh man, a Minecraft successor in space would be wild. Wait, that happened before. But sure, if people jive with it. Plus, I think there's a few people who seem to want to make it be steampunk, and that would save me some money on artist work, and we'd have to otherwise spend on making new art with more beards. Winky face gives, nobody wants to deal with hair when it comes to the video game industry. But there'd still be a lot of trees, though. I love trees in games. And let's go into this one right here. Listen, just add guns and children and I'll be happy. My guess is yes. Wow. Just go play Squid Games on Roblox, right? I mean,
yeah, there you go. That'll fulfill your needs if you have those needs.
Notch has got some incredibly dark humor. And the last comment we got here is, so you would make a Minecraft too? And he goes, no, I'd make a similar game based on what I think the audience that says they'd want that game might enjoy. Probably do early access to make sure we're on track. But I mean, I still sort of think I'm just a clown getting lucky in the sea of actual talents. So I have no idea if it actually will be good, but I'll try. Yes, you can laugh at me if I fail. I'd prefer it if people would keep in mind I could hurt my ego on comments like that. But that kind of stuff is kind of hilarious. So ultimate troll, is that the best hype? I mean, there's no such thing as bad publicity, they always say in the world of entertainment. But HenricK, I gotta say, Minecraft, the best-selling game of all time, was developed by Notch, who was also served as the figurehead of the franchise for years before it was sold to Microsoft for $2.5 billion in 2014. Will he find the same success with his next project? That's almost a decade.
Well, it's very hard.
15 years, right? Wow.
Yeah, it has been a while.
Yeah.
And it is very hard to capture Starlight twice, if you want to say it like that. And the first time, he actually hit gold with something that so many people liked. And then Microsoft liked it enough to buy it from him. And it became this huge historical game, basically, at this point, because it's going to be written in the history books.
Well, yeah, because like Minecraft
do that again? I don't know.
Well, it's that digital sandbox that like everybody was hoping that Lego would have caught on to. And the fact that it took Lego so long to do what they're doing with Epic Games and Fortnite universe is beyond me.
Fortnite mode.
Yeah, because it really is awesome. I mean, it does feel a bit late to the game, and I feel like that's why it's not capturing the imagination as well as Minecraft did 15 years ago. But I truly believe if Lego was copying that same model if they did 15 years ago, I don't know if we would be talking Minecraft the same way. And so that's how I feel when it becomes to a sequel or even flirting the idea about it. And let's go ahead and even show the image of, the poll, because that's also in telling of what Notch is even suggesting will be the theme of his next game. And so he was saying, choose between a roguelike dungeon crawler and a spiritual successor to Minecraft while cleverly titling it Minecraft 2, right? So, but it is also incredible to see at that poll that 81% of nearly 287,000 voters said, bring on the block. So there's clearly a community that follow, he's got over 3 million followers on Twitter alone. but then again, I wasn't too familiar with it. You brought it up with me during pre-production talks that, this guy has also got his name scrubbed essentially from Microsoft from the credits due to, post-sale controversies. And so will that linger with him? Or will his loyal fan base go, listen, look, like, dude, like anything that comes from him, it's going to be a banger.
Yeah, it is one of those things, though, where, Minecraft, when it came out, it actually redefined a lot of the indie scene, because a lot of indie games that were coming out after Minecraft were trying to capture the same magic, this survival game. And so there was this huge wave of survival games that came out. Even today, there's a lot of survival games that come out, all based off of a lot of the stuff that Minecraft set as the standard.
And the integration of going to the mobile and tablet was another strong push for this video game as well, which a lot of people wanted to copy. And maybe it worked to their favor too, because it didn't have to work the performance of a lot of these, phones, at the time, compared to not everybody could enjoy the luxury of Fortnite on their phone. Well, maybe you might be able to run, Minecraft on the go just as easily.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if it actually is successful, and if it does the same thing of, whatever genre it is, that it pushes the indie scene into that direction as well, as everyone tries to follow in their footsteps.
Yeah, it's so true, HenricK. And so you, the gamers, would you even want to see a new rendition on Minecraft, or do you think it's just long gone? I mean, dude, it's that joke with even this year with the Minecraft movie. Like, who the hell is going to go see Jack Black and Jason Momoa? Like, we're all old now. I mean, yeah, some of us got excited for Sonic the Hedgehog 3, but maybe
that was a banger, though.
I'll give it that. But a little bit of that too is because of Jim Carrey. But I don't know if Jack Black is going to have that same grab. Because to me, it's always 50-50.
skeptical of that one.
I do love Jack Black. I'm not trying to diss him like that. It's like, but sometimes it's 50-50. It's like Adam Sandler. It's like it's either going to be a really, really great movie or it's going to be a really shitty movie. It's like there's no really in between, with that. And so that what I'm really trying to say is it's like, we kind of grown past Minecraft a little bit, and will it be able to hold that same retention? Let us know what's good. But hey, we're having some fun towards the end of the show. So HenricK, let us know what's good.
We're diving back into the chaos with another Reddit debate to kick off the year, where a brave gamer asked, what game did you quit because you couldn't beat the first level?
Yeah, and key thing is the first level. So this was actually really kind of hard to think about, because we can think of those pain in the ass bosses, those dungeon fights, you name it. But the first level. And so, yeah, man, dude, brutal.
But of course, gamers have truly mastered the art of quitting, or rage quitting, if you will.
Exactly.
And they've shared their masterpieces on Reddit with the following comments.
Yes, they did, HenricK. And so the first one that we got here is Echo the Dolphin. I was also 6, but still, that game was difficult as F. And so this was on the Sega. And yes, this little pain in the ass looking adorable looking creature. Don't be fooled, gamers. It was not always so pretty in paradise after all. The next one that we got here is Driver. Yes, we've heard this in the past. The parking lot. This tutorial is a freaking pain in the ass. And with another follow-up comment that says, for real, how the F was me supposed to know what the hell slalom is? My head, all I could think
slalom.
of. A slalom? What?
Yeah.
It's true. I don't even know what that is now that I'm even thinking about it. What is going on? The next one says, that one ninja game from Xbox, I think it was Ninja Gaiden. I don't remember the game or the name, but I know it's notorious for being super hard. And as a kid, I could not get past the first level, and it pissed me off, and is by far the hardest game I ever completed. I was a kid and remembering crying after beating the first boss. Have you really cried after a fight? I mean, yeah, I'm playing the, God of War Ragnarok, and it's so much fun, and, there's certain bosses you want to win over and over and over again. You keep dying. It's like, do I go back to the base, and do I go and get a relic? So if pick me up when I fall kind of a thing, here's a Snickers, you're not being yourself. It's one of those kind of moments, but
you know what I'm going to say, Chris?
Oh, don't do it.
and it's just a skill issue.
Oh, really? You're going to hit me with one of those on the very first episode back on their season 8 launch? How dare you? You know what? I knew you would bring that fire. But you know what? You know, this would have easily been mine, but a lot of people resonated with me on this one as well. Bloodborne, bro. This is probably, this is such a pain in the ass one. But
it
went
is
into the start
game.
of Bloodborne without weapons equipped. By the time I realized I was supposed to have weapons, I was too stubborn to not beat the first enemy with the bare fist. I never beat the first enemy. And another person followed up by saying, I did that. My brother bought it for me as a gift and I knew nothing about it. I never heard of a Souls game either, just never cropped up. And I eventually texted him to ask about it after I died so many times trying to slap a werewolf to death. He told me next time I died to walk another few steps forward. I didn't get much better. Go to hell. Oh man, you know, people feel, and then of course made from, you know, the same people, Elden Ring. I'm not really a big gamer anymore, but earlier in the year I had to have some time off of work for cancer treatment. Oh gosh, I don't think that could parlay well together, Elden Ring and cancer treatment. But so I figured what better way to spend it than rip through a few modern games I'd missed. Fired up Elden Ring, got smoked almost immediately, spent 2 months playing Stardew Valley instead on.
That is a switch up.
And the guy's like, you're not supposed to fight the tree sentinel, man. Laughing out loud. And last, Star Wars Phantom Menace on PS1. There was a bridge on Naboo that had a button I couldn't find despite weeks of trying. Saw a Let's Play years later and nearly fell off of my chair. Oh my freaking God. I had this game on PC and I went through the exact same thing. It was one of the most effing frustrating games to play at the time. I just quit it and went back to Need for Speed, Hot Pursuit, and Road Rash. Yeah, you know, it's funny because that always seems to be a discourse in video games. You know, you see it year after year where they go, hey, I think it's time that we get rid of the yellow marker. But then you get the issues like this where you go, gosh, man, that can make or break a game. If I can't get past the first level and and I'm hearing wonderful things about it, but if it's this too much of a pain in the ass, I just don't feel like playing. But HenricK, gamers sure know how to quit in style, right? So which game did you give up on and what was your best Reddit excuse?
Well, when I thought about this, it did take me a minute, but I came up with the fact of when I was playing on the GameCube as a kid, there was one game that I had called Eternal Darkness, Sanity's Requiem. And that is a horror game through and through. That first level, the first like actual level, I didn't know what I was doing. And I just died to zombies over and over again every time I got to them.
Yeah, it's kind of like Resident Evil 2, you know, like that. I don't know if it was necessarily like hard. I wouldn't, you know, some people might feel that way, but you know, it's one of those games, right, where you go, damn, you're really introduced to the action, like immediately, like so you better be ready to rock and roll with this kind of style of gameplay. To me, HenricK, Superman 64. I think it's funny that we both kind of said Nintendo style gameplay but like this is the kryptonite of gaming. You know, the first level is so infamous. Right? It's so infamous that you feel like Lex Luthor himself designed it to crush your spirit. And like the challenge of trying to get these combos like you're like some freaking drunk Superman, you know, stepping out of the highbrow. Like I didn't know what the hell was going on. You're going through hoops and, you know, with these controls that feel like they were coded by someone who's never seen a plane, let alone a superhero. So if you miss a few rings, too bad. You're starting over, so you might as well be not called the Man of Steel. You're more like, man, I'm done. So Nintendo 64 had a lot of glory days, but a lot of days where you're just going, how the hell did these games ever see the light of day? But hey, we want to know from you gamers. That's the challenge, though. What is the very first level, like the hardest level you've ever played, that like made you immediately tap out, step out of the ring, and just say, screw this, I am not going to enjoy that e-ticket ride. Like this is a pain in the ass. Let us know what's good. But man, season 8 launch of Rage Quit Video Game Talk Show has been a blast, and we can't thank you, the gamers, for always tuning in live every Wednesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because without your support, the show would not be possible. So we want to take one last moment to let you guys all know by scanning the QR code, like, share, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you never miss a live show. This is where you can follow my YouTube channel. Always got a lot of amazing things cooking up in the year 2025.
And go ahead and scan that QR code right there on your screen. It'll lead you to my YouTube channel as well. And you'll find great content there from a variety of different genres. So go check it out and leave a comment. I'll read it.
That's right. And man, this has been a lot of fun, but we will see you next, rodeo in town, right? What the hell? What kind of closing was that? That was super lame. Hey man, you know what? I'll just
Run it back again.
Yeah, run it back. Hit the reset button. We'll see you next time, fam. Peace.
See ya.